Polar Opposite Podcast, Graveyard Film Reviews, take 3. Good evening and welcome to the Polar Opposite Podcast. This is the Graveyard Film Reviews, the #1 podcast for cinephile insomniacs. Have you ever felt you just can't sleep at night, and for some reason, art and movies and music are just calling to you more during that time? Say it's 2 in the morning and you got nothing going on, but you can't go to sleep. Well, this is the podcast for you. We're going to be breaking down all your favorite movies to watch during the night, like Blade Runner, The Crow, all those, midnight hour double feature kind of films.
I'm your host, Brendan Polar, and at my right is my co-host,
Dante Graves, and welcome and enjoy the show. Welcome back, everybody. So we're talking about movies we last saw. The movie I last saw was Sicario 2, The Meg, and The Spy Who Dumped Me.
Mm-hmm. I saw Christopher Robin. That one was pretty good.
I want to see that. I've been wanting, and it's funny. Like I've been wanting to see that. It's like I know it's a Winnie the Pooh film, but I know it's for kids and shit like that. But for some reason I want to see it.
I recommend it.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I would definitely watch it because like there's been other Winnie the Pooh stuff and I don't want to go see it, but that one for some reason it just hitting me at home for some reason. Like I want to see it, and like Pooh doesn't look like CGI.
Right.
It's a puppet.
It's a puppet,
and that's cool. I don't want to like see a CGI Winnie the Pooh.
I don't think anybody does.
I'm sure there are, but I prefer if it was a puppet or like hand drawn animation. But like the puppet works too. So.
Well, did you actually know that they got a lot of the original voice actors to come back and voice I think at least for Pooh, it's the same voice actor.
I didn't know that for sure, but
yeah.
I kind of assumed.
Okay.
Because those guys will work.
Mm-hmm.
They won't say no.
Yeah.
Because they love those characters.
They need the money too.
They need the money. Yeah. But how was it? Like, did it hit home emotionally? Or?
I think as far as what they're trying to do and the story they're trying to tell, like it's more of a darker. It's not like it's completely like dark and gritty, but they're going like it's not like Batman or anything.
Piglet, we need to get out of here.
Where are they? So basically, I thought what they did was good. There are some problems with the film as far as the tone shift that they have.
That's the guy who did the Spider-Man films, right? The 500 Days of Summer guy.
Was it the same guy? I don't know.
I think so. Mark Webb, right?
No, Mark Fuster.
Fuster, yes.
Yeah, Mark Fuster.
Let me look that up.
Okay.
But go on.
So the tone is kind of a little it's a little jumpy. In the beginning, it starts off really well because you get to see Christopher Robin and you see him go from the child that we see, in the original interpretations, and then we see him go to being an adult. And it's interesting because they use illustrations to pretty much talk about, his... And that's not spoilers. I think they actually have a clip like that.
No. I mean...
Yeah.
I don't think everybody's going to be mad
right.
if you get spoiled. I mean, if you spoil, the whole ending, sure, but,
yeah.
I don't think everybody's going to be mad about little parts about
Everybody dies.
Everybody dies.
Everybody dies. So, no, I think... honestly, I thought it was going to be a completely different movie, from the trailers at least, because it seemed more like it was going to be more of a friendly movie than it was.
It does look like it has the family-friendly look to it, but at the same time, it has the adult element.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It's not Taxi Driver, but
no.
it has that element where it makes you feel whole. It's what's that movie? What's that movie with? It's kind of it's like Pixar. How Pixar does that.
Oh, right.
Like how they mix that kid element, but at the same time it mixes in
Up.
Like Up.
Yeah.
That's exactly the movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's the movie I was thinking of.
Okay.
Because that movie, if you watch that movie, on the surface, it's a kid's film, but at its essential core, the opening of the film, it's holy shit. That's a deep, dark film. That's an animated. That's deeper than I think most films out there today for adults that are adult oriented. What they think is adult. That movie hits me to its core, even at 23. that movie still makes me cry.
It's incredible.
Because it's a dark. She has a miscarriage.
Mm-hmm.
She has a freaking miscarriage.
I was actually surprised the way they handled that, especially in a kids movie. You're like, okay, that's kind of an interesting topic to talk about, but I like that they did. It just, you don't see that in kids movies.
No, you don't.
No.
But yeah, so back to Robin.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, I would certainly still recommend it, even with the problems I had with it, because they're very minor. Like, it doesn't take away from the fact that they still had like an excellent, like story that they were able to tell with this more. Like I said, it's darker when it has to be, but there are a lot of still friendly elements in there for the kids.
That's what I hope so.
Yeah.
How's Obi-Wan Kenobi in the movie?
He's actually really good. It's interesting watching him.
He's a good actor.
He's an amazing actor, and it's interesting watching him because in the beginning, like his character kind of reminded me a lot of like Robin Williams' character in Hook. The way he started, he was very distant from his. Remember how what I'm saying? Like he was very distant from his.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but just like really, that's the movie you're getting compared to.
It's the first thing that came to mind. The movie's a classic. Don't you talk about it?
I'm in opposition. We can talk about it at another point, and for unpopular opinion, but I don't. Like
it's a story for another day, people. But anyways.
But yeah. All right. Yeah. I mean, so who? I'm trying to remember who the fuck directed it.
It was Mark Foster.
Was it Mark Foster?
And I think he did Training Day. Or was that somebody else?
No, that's Anton Fukunaga.
I thought he wrote it. didn't he direct
it? No.
Okay.
Dude who wrote Suicide Squad wrote Training Day.
Right, but did he direct it too? And because
Antoine Fuqua directed Training Day.
Mm-hmm.
David Ayer, dude who did Fury, Suicide Squad, Hard Boiled and all that.
Right.
Not Hard Boiled. Hard Times. Was it? I don't know. The one with Christian Bale. Where he's But he wrote Training Day. That was not his first script, but that was his first breakout script.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think he did Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
But Mark Foster. Who is Mark Foster? I'm trying to think.
It's funny because like before I saw the movie, I looked up his IMDb, and he's actually got a lot of credits to his name.
I know it sounds familiar. I'm just trying to remember who. I know this Mark.
It is Mark Foster.
Forster.
Yeah.
Forster, like
Forster.
Robert Forster. I'm just trying to remember who. I don't know. I'm waiting for my phone, but my phone's being slow.
Yeah.
So
you want to? Okay. So what other movie have you seen recently?
I saw The Spy Who Dumped Me, but I don't want to talk about that.
Okay.
Because that one's just a mess.
Yeah, I could tell. Just from the trailer.
I'm for female-led movies, female-led action films, comedies. Mm-hmm. I'm for females directing and writing. I'm not saying the problem was with females, because a lot of people will attack the film as like, oh, this is why you should get the right person for the job rather than hire just because she's a woman. Well, guess what, people? There's a lot of people who just get the job because who just for hire. They're not even for the right director for the job. Like you watch, who's the guy who did Boys in the Hood?
Oh God, I can't remember his name.
But point is, the director of Boys in the Hood fought to make his movie made. The studio was going to get some director for hire.
Mm-hmm.
He had done some sequel to some really crappy Steven Seagal action flick.
Right.
They were just going to grab that and make it into an action flick. So most of the time, when
how would you do that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
He fought for the film because he's like, I don't want to know some dude from Oklahoma, from Burbank, who doesn't know about about the hood or authenticities of the hood and things like that make this story.
Mm-hmm.
Only I know this story because I wrote the damn thing.
Right.
I lived the damn thing.
Yeah.
So it's like
it's my fucking life. I know what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's his life. So that's why when people tell me like, oh, it's not about hiring different ethnicities and things like that. It's about getting the right person for the job. Well, guess what? They don't care about the right person for the job. They just care about who's going to get the shit done in time and make the right amount of money.
It has nothing to do with gender or anything like that or sexual orientation.
So that's why I say, when people say, oh, we want more diversity and things like that,
right.
blah, 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 blah. It's because they're not given the opportunity. Even the ones who make mediocre films or even to make great films like Barry, the dude who Moonlight. What's his name? Barry. I'm usually good with names. I'm blanking right now. But yeah, like he's African American director,
Mhm.
phenomenal filmmaker. And then it was like, you get my
Yeah,
point.
no, I
You
get your
my-
point.
You
Yeah.
get my point. You get my point.
Yeah.
So,
No, totally.
so it's not the problem with Spy Who Dumped Me because of women,
Mhm.
because the dude co-wrote that film. The problem with the movie is they just didn't give a crap.
Right.
they just was like, let's put Mila Kunis,
Mhm.
let's put let's put Kate McKinnon,
Kate McKinnon.
who, by the way, in the movie she shines.
Okay.
She's great. In the
She's good.
She's great in
Okay.
a lot of things, but she shines in particularly this because she's hilarious.
Is she like the best part of the movie?
I wouldn't say she's the. I mean, the movie's fun.
Mm-hmm.
The movie's fun, but it's just messy.
Right.
It's kind of all over the place. It's kind of really. There is a story, but there isn't a story. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's like one of those stories where you watch it and you're like, when I was watching it, there's a story, but if you told me to tell you it, I'd be like, I don't know. Man.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I had a fun time. I like, even though I'm this very, particular cinephile.
Yeah.
I can still go to the movies and turn off my brain and
Right.
have fun. But I prefer not to. I prefer to see something that's gonna
Well,
expand it, or
yeah.
like it's gonna be a really good movie, even if it's one of those, like those dumb action flicks.
I mean, me personally, like, even if I'm watching a dumbass movie, and don't get me wrong, people, I love some stupid movies. I can go on and on about the stupid movies I love. But I also like movies that do have substance that, okay, they don't have to, like, have some big, hard-hitting message.
Look, they don't have to be Kubrick.
Right. But, like, have me take away, like, I walk out of the theater, and I'm like, wow, I'm actually glad I paid that much money for that movie.
At least have like a good,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
John Wick. That's a perfect example of
Exactly.
a dumb action
Right.
flick that still hits me hard. Like
Mhm.
it has the emotional moments, but still has those awesome fight sequences. Like Deadpool 2. I like that film too. It's
Yeah.
dumb, but it's fun.
It's fun.
But it's a good fun. It's not like you're making me drag along watching this boring crap.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying the movie was boring. I just felt like they were just banging off the fact that it's a spy film,
Right.
an action film with Mila Kunis and Kate McKinnon.
And what's funny is that there's been so many of those the last couple of years that I think people are just kind of sick of it at this point. The whole spy gimmick and all that.
I don't know about spy films particularly, but I feel like I don't know about everybody else, but I'm sick of like you get like two good actors
Mm-hmm.
and they just go off that. They just go
And
off
nothing
that.
else.
Nothing else. No
Yeah.
script.
Oh, you see a lot of movies like that.
Yeah, I know, but I'm tired of that.
No,
for
I
sure.
totally.
Like, and I want to see those actors shine. Like I want to see I was excited about the film when I saw the trailer
Mhm.
because it looked funny.
Mhm.
That's why I don't really like to watch trailers anymore because you'll watch a
It
trailer
just
like,
ruins
oh,
it.
this looks great, and then you go see the movie and like, this is nothing. Like,
Or you'll have a trailer that tells you it's a completely different movie than you were expecting.
well, that I've come accustomed to.
Right.
I've come accustomed to because it's like with the trailer you have to sell the movie.
Mm.
And like in my mind, how a trailer should work should be like a short film version of the movie
Right.
without giving away too much,
Exactly.
But with trailers now, it's like I have to sell them a movie they would like to see
Mhm.
versus what the movie actually is, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all.
No, I don't like that.
But it's unfortunately the game. You have to sell the movie. You have to, promote it. You're gonna have to make money if you're gonna make a movie. And people say like, "Oh, what about artistic integrity?" Well, then go see a big Hollywood film
That's
because
true.
there's no artistic integrity in the sense nobody's, there's no Kubricks in the Hollywood system.
No.
There's no, because why? Because they gotta answer to somebody.
Even a lot of the greats, I've honestly been disappointed by someone like Steven Spielberg recently because he's not like the director he used to be.
I would say that. I don't think he's
Really?
the director he used to be.
Okay.
Like, I've never been a huge Spielberg fan.
Okay.
But Spielberg, the thing with Spielberg is he's always been a Hollywood guy. Like the guy who answers. I mean, he doesn't answer to anybody particularly, but he always makes a movie for the Hollywood system.
Yeah.
And that's how he's mainly been, And
That's
he
true.
was hardly ever the artistic guy.
Mhm.
Because, he started off making pictures for Hollywood. Like, he was making TV shows and TV movies like Duel and...
I didn't even know that.
And yeah, Duel was a TV movie,
Okay.
and then And then my acting teacher, Clue, he was in a Spielberg directed, I think, TV movie, a TV show, and that's how they get their. That's how you got to start, was doing all those Hollywood pictures, and then and then he did Jaws, which is still a blockbuster,
Right.
and it's still a Hollywood picture. He had more. See, back in the '70s, it was more, it was more like artistic value and things like that. But then Coppola made Apocalypse Now.
You still had studios that would come in and interfere with your films, but it wasn't as bad
Like,
as now.
ask Coppola, listen to Coppola talk about The Godfather, how
Right.
much of a pain that was for him to do, because the studio was always having their hand in the fucking thing. But at the same time, you can't just give complete control over like the artist to over the production, because sometimes the artist doesn't know what the hell he's doing sometimes. Because like, look at Coppola for Apocalypse Now. Don't get me wrong, I love Apocalypse Now. I think it's one of the greatest films ever made. But Coppola blew the budget so big on that movie that they didn't even earn it back, because that movie bombed.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people didn't understand it at the time. It was just critically and box office wise just panned. It just couldn't get anywhere.
So it did well, like on the sales that it made back from. I mean, they didn't have VHS back then, so I guess.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That
No.
sucked.
People later saw it as a masterpiece.
Right.
But at that time, it probably they never really. I don't think they ever really got the budget back.
Mhm.
I think the studio who did it went bankrupt, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's no real. If you want to be an artist and things like that, you have to do it yourself.
That's true.
You have to do it yourself. You can't. If you want complete control, like Kubrick, he would never do another Hollywood film after Spartacus, because he had no control over them. He had no control of the script. He had no control of how the edit would be, or this and that. So it was not his film. And that's what happens in Hollywood. And people say, "Oh, well, that's bullshit, man." But I'm like, that's Hollywood. If you're gonna go in and do their game,
You have to play by their rules.
you have to play by the rules.
I mean,
that's like going into baseball and saying, "I want to play basketball."
right.
That's like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. It's like, what the hell are you doing out here?
Or trying to play like baseball, but you're trying to play street rules. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. So yeah, I'm not upset by these Hollywood movies that do that, because I'm expecting it.
Right.
I'm expecting it, because they have to. They have
It's
to
a
pump
given.
some.
Yeah.
If they want to make if they want to make their Moonlight, if they want to make their this, and they want to win the Oscar, they have that in mind. It's summer years. That's why I love summer. Summer is one of my favorite seasons, but I'm not excited to go to the movies during the summer, because I know like most of them are just to make them a buck,
Right.
so they can fund their better pictures.
Of course.
And so that's why I'm not mad. So like when I saw Spy Who Loved Me, I wasn't mad about the film. I just could have lived without it.
But it's also disappointing to realize that we have a lot more of those kind of films than we do have a Moonlight film or whatever. And it's understandable. Like you said, it is Hollywood, and they're going to do whatever they can to make money. But at the same time, you do have a lot of artists out there, like, the guy who directed Moonlight, who they want to share their vision, but it's hard to, because, nobody's really looking for artistic integrity. They're really looking for whatever can make them a lot of buco bucks,
Yeah, I mean, they're looking for integrity in certain aspects, but like most of the time, like if you didn't like a certain movie and you're attacking the director, it's like the majority of the time it's not the director's fault. Like studios just want their movie.
Yeah.
They want it to meet a certain beat. Watch that TV show Project Greenlight. Like I know John Gulager, who won season 3.
Really?
Watch that, and watch how much they controlled, not his vision, but controlled the production. Like he wanted his wife as the lead character, and he wanted his goddaughter as one of the other characters, and he wanted his brother as another character, and his dad. He only got his dad to be in the film. Well, his dad and his wife, but his wife didn't end up being the main character. She ended up being another character. You should watch that, and watch how much he fought to have his family be in the film. And they said no. They said no, we don't want it. This is Weinstein Company. But it was, it was Dimension, which was owned by Weinstein, but it was oversaw by like different producers, but Weinstein still had to say Bob, not Harvey.
Right.
Watch like how frustrating it is. just to answer somebody like that, because it's like most of the time they're like, no, we want this guy because he's gonna make us money.
Mm-hmm.
If we want an artistic picture, this and that, it's hard to make a movie in general.
Mm-hmm.
But imagine having to make a movie with 30 different people to answer,
Yeah, it's true.
having to please them and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens, So that's why I'm not like when people. That's why I wasn't upset by Justice League, because I know that thing was gonna be like, and any of the Star Wars films. I mean, I like the Star Wars films, the recent ones, but like I'm not surprised by how some of them come out, because I'm like, that's the business. It's unfortunate, because I would love to see the Han Solo movie the Lord and Miller made.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see that film, but it's not gonna get made. I know it's not. It's not going to be this artistic and like, oh well, they're artistic integrity, blah blah.
And since we're talking about Justice League, those who are thinking that the Snyder Cut is coming, let me just stop you right
It's
there.
not.
It's not. You can keep talking about it for the next year all you want, but it's not coming, and it's disappointing in the sense because I did want to see what Zack Snyder's full vision was for his Justice League film. But unfortunately, like you said, a lot of especially when you're a director and you get canned from a project, like you're done. That's
Well,
it.
I was reading this thing that they didn't like what he had done in general.
That's what I heard too.
And he didn't even have like a finish. I mean, he had a finished cut, but it was a rough cut.
Mm-hmm.
It was super rough.
Yeah.
And he was like, I need to do reshoots. And then his daughter
Passed away.
So he never got to finish those reshoots.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want a Snyder cut, you're pretty much asking, you want a shitty rough cut with bad sound effects and bad visual effects.
You want a cut that people will claim exists but doesn't.
It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
It will never come because he never had a finished cut.
Yeah. If there is a cut, it's on the cutting room floor and it was probably canned before the movie came out. That's what I'm...
Well, even if it's canned.
Yeah.
Like, at least with canned, like, how, like, Ridley Scott at least got to do his definitive version of Blade Runner.
Or the guy who directed Superman, the second one, I think, Richard Donner, he had a cut. It was very similar with the Justice League thing, where he had a cut that he...
Well, yeah, I know about that one. That one, he had gotten fired.
Oh, he got fired.
Well, because they shot Superman 1 and 2 back-to-back.
Right.
And he didn't get fired, but they just didn't like what he did.
Mm-hmm.
Because they saw the success of Superman 1. They didn't think Superman was going to be a big... They didn't think it was going to be a success as it was. They knew it was going to do something, but they didn't think it was going to do as well as it did. So 2, they hired a different director to do some reshoots, and then they cut it together. But there is a Richard Donner cut. I haven't seen the Donner cut, though.
I saw it a long time ago.
Is it good?
I can't remember it, to be honest. But, I mean, I remember watching, Superman as a kid, and, I mean... That was, like, I think one of the first superhero movies I watched. So, but I mean, I fell in love with it. I mean, I think.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think it's still better than Man of Steel.
You're not.
I mean, you could debate me about that whole time travel thing at the end. It's still better than Man of Steel snapping the neck. Okay,
that's true.
I will buy that over him snapping a neck. But yeah, so yeah, there's a possibility he could get the cut, but the footage just doesn't exist.
No.
That's like me. Like, I have a couple films that I wanted to finish, but I just don't have the footage for. So It's like I can't ever release them.
And I mean, it's almost been like a year, I think, since that movie came out. So at this point, if they
no one's gonna buy it,
yes,
no one's gonna buy it too. Like, at this point, if you're gonna wait this long, I mean, if maybe 20 years from now,
but even then.
But I mean, like with Blade Runner, because
Okay, but let's not put Justice League and Blade Runner
no.
sentence together.
Two different. I mean, I'm sure if Justice League has a big enough cult following, then probably.
Yeah.
But I doubt it. Yeah. Again, I doubt it. So
again, don't give your hopes up. If you're expecting to come out, it's probably not.
No, you're just like I was about the what's that movie? I can't remember.
Yeah.
But like there's a director's cut I've been wanting for years. I never got it.
Well, let me ask you your opinion. Speaking of directors getting canned, like you heard about what happened to James Gunn, right?
Yeah. But that's different. That was Snyder. That's one director. That's one director. That's one director. Snyder just didn't meet the criteria of what they wanted.
Right.
Versus Gunn's comments, and that's a gray area.
That's true.
That's a very gray area.
That's true.
Like, it's Because whose side do you take? You
Mm.
can't really say it's not a black and white issue.
Right.
Now, do I want Gunfire? No, of course not. I want him to complete the trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
But, am I going to...
Now,
it's a gray area.
the only thing, I don't want to get too much into that, but the only thing that kind of is interesting to me about that is that this is supposedly, these are tweets that were tweeted, like, I think, I might be off people, but I think it was like 9 years ago, so we're talking 2009 or
It is a
something
long
like that.
time ago.
Yeah.
It is a long time ago, and he apologized
Yes,
for it,
he
and
did.
he's
That's what I was gonna
changed
say.
about it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. He changed for it. But and he did apologize. He has moved on. He's
Mhm.
become a big advocate for the Me Too movement.
Right.
And I think it's beautiful. But
it is.
But if you're going to be with Disney, you can't make comments. You can't. It's like if I had a job and they found comments I made, racist comments,
Mhm.
or any kind of other comment, or like drug fueled comments or something, and something insensitive comment, they're gonna fire me, and they have every right to.
Right. And I read the tweets myself, and like I understand where people are coming
Like read
from.
those tweets; they're disgusting.
Yeah, they're disgusting. You know what? On top of everything else, they're not funny, in my opinion. Like
No.
he tried to come across as funny, and I don't think they
That's
did.
like some kid from high school going,
Right.
like, you know what's funny? Women's rights.
Yeah.
I'm like, so funny.
Like, what are you talking about?
Or like saying, which some dead baby joke.
Right.
And it's like, oh, alright.
Right. I mean, it's only unfortunate because you got to think you're 2 movies in, you pretty much got in the bag. And there was even talks about him like taking over the MCU franchise if they were to move on like into the phase 4.
I would trust him with it.
Yeah.
But
But forget about that now.
No,
Yeah.
I mean the Disney even considered it. They even like had another meeting with him.
Really.
But they're not going to go.
I mean, you know what? Honestly, at this point, it is a business, and they're going to run it like a business. So if they see that, affiliating themselves with someone like that is going to hurt their business, then of course they're not going to affiliate with them anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because imagine being a fan of James Gunn.
Mm-hmm.
You're a kid,
Right.
and you find a tweet like that.
Yeah.
Because kids, there's kids using Twitter, which is not entirely James Gunn's. Well, I mean, is partly, but it's also the parents' fault. Like, why are you letting your kids be on Twitter?
Right.
He's 9. Why is he doing Twitter?
Oh man, I could keep you all day.
Well,
here.
we're not going to go
Talk
into that.
about- yeah.
Okay, but let's talk about more about movies. We're getting a little off topic.
So, back to what we were talking about.
I wanted to talk about we were talking about disappointments, right?
Right.
Sicario 2.
Okay, how was that? I want to know. Now, just full disclosure, I haven't seen the first Sicario.
He hasn't.
I have.
First Sicario, one of my favorite movies of 2015, if not of all time. I wouldn't say top 10, but definitely top 20.
Mm-hmm.
I love that film.
Yeah.
The cast, the direction by Denis Villeneuve, the cinematography by Roger Deakins, Johansson doing the score.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, Emily Blunt is so beautiful and amazing in that movie. And then early Daniel Kaluuya performance, the dude from Get Out.
Right.
It's early performance by him,
Mm-hmm.
and he's really good in it too. I didn't know who he was at the time, but he was really good. John Bernthal is in it. He's good.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Brolin, I think, and also I know for certain that Benicio del Toro gave the best performance of that year.
Really?
That was going on during the whole the white Oscars.
That's true. Yeah.
Where it was like every nomination was white people getting
Mm-hmm.
nominated. I was pissed that Benicio del Toro didn't get nominated for best supporting. No, he didn't. He didn't, and he had the best performance of the year.
Mm-hmm.
The best performance of the year.
There weren't a lot of choices. I don't think that.
There
year.
was,
Really?
but there wasn't. They just weren't nominating him.
Right.
Like Leo won.
Oh, for Revenant.
Revenant.
That's right.
I didn't think that was his best performance.
Right.
I didn't think that was the best performance of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought that was an extreme performance that he gave, which
Yeah.
was good, but I didn't think it was. It was a very look at me performance.
Oh, totally.
It was a very like, hey,
Absolutely.
I wanna prove to everybody I can act, and I don't, and that's not subtle. It's not understated.
No.
It's not like at all like Dan. It's kind of like Denzel
Right.
in Fences.
And Fences.
Denzel in Fences.
Yeah.
Very look at me. Very, hey, I'm showing off all my acting
I can
talent.
act, people. I can act.
Let me get
right.
and it's just so I hate watching actors who do that
Right.
because it's like, okay, you're not serving the story.
Right.
you're not serving the other actors.
Mm-hmm.
You're being a selfish cunt.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought. And I
No,
was like,
seriously.
so you're being rewarded for being a selfish cunt.
I mean, it's basically just ego stroking.
So, yeah. And so Sicario, Benicio del Toro should have been nominated.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everything else was nominated. Not the movie or Denis, but Deakins got nominated. The technical reasons the movie got nominated. But acting-wise, oh my gosh, dog. Dude. Benicio at the end. Holy shit. I've never seen another actor do something like what he did in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen, I don't know, like, I'm talking about, like, this is beyond Gary Oldman level. And I'm not talking about, like, how Gary Oldman's
That's
like
a comparison right
well,
there.
not on the level of how Gary Oldman becomes a chameleon,
Okay.
but the things Gary Oldman's willing to do as an actor.
Mm-hmm.
Like how Gary Oldman he's willing to do anything.
Right.
Because he loves the craft.
Yeah.
Benicio in that movie, I'm telling you, some of the postures he had, some of the things he just did in the scene. There's a scene where he's interrogating a dude, and he just gets up real close to him.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he's the dude just sitting there in the seat, and he pulls up the seat next to him and just starts crowding him, invading his personal space, and he's like, "Give me the fucking names. I want names." Wow. And I was like, "Holy shit."
I'm already gonna watch the movie just based on that scene alone.
Yeah, that was great
Yeah.
movie. But yeah, so Sicario 1, I loved it. And Sicario 2, then I heard was a different director, different cinematographer.
That's already a bad sign right there.
I was going to give the person a chance. I was going to give it a chance. I wasn't going to be cynical. The trailer looked too action filmy for me. Because I was like, that trailer didn't sell me. That looked like, because that scene where he's like, where Benicio's going off with
on the gun.
I was like, that looks so cartoony. I was like, Benicio, what happened? You were so subtle and understated in the last
He just
movie.
became a gun rifler or something like that.
I mean,
It was like-
he is a Sicario.
Oh, okay.
So Sicario is, what it means is, it means hitman.
right.
It's like not a Greek myth. It's kind of like a mythos of like, you hire the Sicario.
Mm-hmm.
The Sicario is the hitman. It's like an ancient legend. I don't know what it is Spanish, but I don't know like what region. Like I don't know if it's Mexican or Colombian.
Yeah.
So, but in this movie, I was gonna give it a chance because like all right, I'll give it a chance.
Can I ask you? Do you have to? Because that's one of the things I'm wondering is, do you have to watch the first one to get this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Totally.
Okay.
Totally. You will be lost.
Okay. That's good. to
Not
know.
lost completely, but lost in the sense of like, who are these guys?
Okay.
Like how come like I don't get these characters? Like what their arcs are like because they just resolved their arcs in the last movie.
Right.
So they have history. These characters. Also, this movie didn't have Emily Blunt.
So she didn't come back, or what?
I was listening to Brolin talk, and they said that if the movie did well enough, they would bring her back for a third one.
Okay. But wasn't she like an essential character?
She
in
was
the first movie?
she was mainly a main character.
Right.
But the movies are always Benicio's movies. The movies are always about Benicio.
Sure.
And another reason I give it a chance is because the original writer was on board. Tyler Sheridan, who I love. He's one of my favorite writers right now. He did, so the first Sicario, Hell or High Water, Wind River. He's a great writer. He's something to really look out for. I haven't seen Yellowstone, but I heard it's not doing so well, like review wise. But then again, I don't like Kevin Costner. I don't give a crap about Costner. but Sicario 2, when I was watching it, I was like, I was just depressed.
Really.
Because the first half of the film is an action flick.
Okay.
It's a by the numbers action flick that tries to be like John Wick.
I'm already out on that point.
Exactly. I was tuning out most of the movie.
Yeah.
But then it grounded itself.
Okay, so it does have a redeeming quality? Or
There is a
does-
redeeming quality, and then it ends too abruptly for me to fucking care.
Okay.
Like, I don't want to give it away, but like the arc at the end was pointless.
So, you're
And
saying...
there's so many story elements in there that I just didn't give a shit about.
But you're making it sound like they did set up for a sequel. I mean, without spoiling it.
No, there was like the end was a total like, how like you close the leave the door open for like a sequel. There's literally a shot at the end where they close the door and like that's the fucking like point for the sequel.
Okay.
I'm like, you motherfuckers. You sons of bitches.
Oh man.
Oh my.
This is what I'm talking about though, about Hollywood.
Well, the first one was more of an artistic film,
Well, yeah,
and this one was by the numbers action flick.
but you know what it is? It's another sequel. We've had, it's disappointing. But,
Well, I mean, there's good sequels. There's good. I mean, Blade Runner
No,
2049. That's a great sequel.
right.
But with Sicario 2, you know what's funny? Like the first film, directed by a French Canadian director and a British cinematographer who know nothing about the world of the cartel, who know nothing about Mexico, living in that world. They have known nothing about it, and yet they made a super authentic feeling film. Like they didn't shoot in Mexico for this. Like there was one scene where they're in the city of Mexico, and it's like the worst city in Mexico. They didn't shoot that scene there, in the actual city.
They shot in the States.
They shot it in I think New Mexico or Arizona, and they rebuilt it because the production team had gone through the city and things like that, and it looked to a T. If you put the photos side by side, it looks to a T. Look up the photos. Look up Sicario. I forgot the city, but Sicario 1. Pull up the Mexico City picture, and then pull up the city of the actual city. It looks frame by frame exactly alike. There's no like B footage and them just getting aerial shots of it. They built it on a stage, and built it in Mexico,
Wow.
in New Mexico or Arizona, and it feels so authentic. That second film doesn't feel authentic at all.
No, I hate
It does, and it's by a Mexican director who's lived in that world.
Okay.
And that doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
It's like, how are you going to make a movie that fits into that world? Who's lived and breathed that world? That's like that thing I was talking about, John Singleton. John Singleton, that's his name. The guy
John
from
Singleton.
Bad Boys. Not Bad Boys.
Boys in the Hood.
Boys in the Hood.
Yeah.
Boys in the Hood. He lived that world. He knew exactly what to make. So how come this guy didn't do that?
Right.
That makes no sense to me.
I mean, the only thing I can think of is that he didn't have enough creative.
Or maybe
say
he just wasn't a creative director.
Maybe there's a lot of them out there.
But it was disappointing because I loved the movie so much. That but you're like, but you like, you said you didn't mind Spy Who Dumped Me. Well, Spy Who Dumped Me, I didn't have any emotional investment to.
Spy Who Dumped Me didn't have a great first film.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
It didn't have anything for me to go, I want to see that movie.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be disappointed if it's bad. For Spy Who Dumped Me, it's like, that's a movie. That's a movie I don't have like that emotional attachment to. Like Sicario, I had the emotional attachment to.
Yeah.
And it's like seeing your kid. You want him to do good, and you're disappointed when he does bad.
It's an interesting comparison, but yeah.
I don't even have kids, but yeah.
So you wouldn't? I mean, would you still recommend it?
I would say if they do a trilogy, then yeah, watch
Okay.
it. I mean, it's not a terrible film, but it's not a great film, and I feel like there's a lot they could cut out. Like there's the whole part about terrorists. There's a whole part about Matthew Modine.
Yeah.
Like Matthew Modine didn't need to be in that movie.
He was just there, or what?
I mean, nothing bad about Matthew Modine. I love Matthew Modine. He's a great actor, but there was no point in putting him in the movie. It felt like either Modine wanted to be in it and they just couldn't find a part for him, so they just wrote it,
Or just said play whatever.
or they had a small part and they just made it a little bit big. I mean, he's not even in the film that much. He's in like 2 scenes.
Really?
And because it felt like that. It just felt like, yeah. But point is, it was a huge letdown for me, and I loved the movie. Because the first movie was this great, on its own Western. This movie wasn't a Western. It didn't even feel like a movie that much. It felt like too much like a movie.
Do you feel like they detracted from what they set up in the first movie?
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, like the mythos of the characters.
Right.
Like Brolin had this vagueness to him in the first movie. And so did Benicio. We get to learn more about Benicio, but I feel like they kind of. I'm not saying humanizing is bad, but made them look weak.
Yeah.
Because they were these, forces not to reckon with in the movie. And this movie, I just feel like it waited too long to make a sequel.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, 3 years is
Has that been 3 years since the first movie? Yeah.
I still feel that's a little long.
Right.
I feel like they should have, like John Wick 2. That should have came
Well,
out like 2 years at least. Not even 2 years, a year after.
Well, yeah, because they waited 4 years for that movie at that point.
Well, it was 3 years, I think.
2014 was the first one?
First one,
2015?
2017 was
Okay.
the second
Right.
one.
Still a while.
But it's still wow,
Yeah.
because, Keanu is going to get, a little chubby.
Right.
He's chubby in the second one.
Right. And it's supposed to pick up right after the first one.
Yeah, I know.
Too.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of problems with that movie, but I mean, I still enjoyed it.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's still a good movie.
Yeah.
I don't care. Franco Nero is a badass. Franco Nero, check that movie out. The original Django. Which kind of brings us into our next segment, retro movie reviews. So, so we do something, movies most people haven't heard of.
Yeah.
So they've heard of them and never watched them, or people who haven't heard of them. Then they're just like older films that kind of fell into obscurity. They haven't really been heard of in a while. And this movie, I'm sure people have heard of, but there's a lot of people I know for sure haven't seen it. It's a great Western. Sergio Corbucci. It came out a couple years after for a few dollars more. It's a very similar story, but very different. Okay. Very different. It's very similar. Yeah, so it's like Yojimbo. It's Yojimbo in a spaghetti western with an Italian actor, Franco Nero. Franco Nero. He's similar to Clint in the Italian sense, but he comes across more of a Charles Bronson mixed with Robert Redford.
Interesting.
And he's a badass, though. He's a badass. So the movie I'm talking about, Django, the 1966 version. Not the Jamie Foxx version or the multiple freaking sequels after the 1966 version. Though, I don't get me wrong, I love those sequels.
Yeah.
They're fun films. But this one's a good one. Mm-hmm. It was so violent, though. It was banned in the UK.
Really?
They banned it in the UK.
Could they go that violent back then? The ratings was different back then.
It was so how Clockwork was banned?
Yeah.
Just like this.
Jeez.
But there was no rape in this one.
Okay, that's good.
It makes sense why Clockwork was banned in this.
Oh, there's so many reasons.
But I mean, it's a good movie, and I think you should never ban art, really. But this one, there was really. Watching it, it is violent, and it is crude, but it's not that violent or crude. Mm-hmm. The man gets his hand stomped on, but come on.
That's it?
Well, it's bloody.
Oh,
it's super bloody. They whip a girl, and it's a violent movie.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but it's a good movie. Mm-hmm. Franco Nero. I love his the way he moves his head. There's one scene where who are you? And then he lifts up his head. It's kind of like this reveal, this push and reveal.
Yeah, it's very subtle.
It's very subtle, and you just see his hat, and then you see his face, the shadow of his face being revealed from the hat. I'm like. And the way he pulls that off, because most actors would have said their line as soon as the camera pulled up and did that. He goes, "My name is Django." And I'm like, "Oh!"
That pause though.
That pause. Most actors don't want to pause
right.
a lot of times because I'm guilty of it too sometimes. But lately, I've been trying. Take my time, things like that. But most actors, they don't want to pause because they're so in the moment. They don't realize you gotta weigh it out. A lot of actors want to get through it. They want to say all the lines all at once, shoot them off at once. I mean, if the scene calls for it, sure. But a really good actor will make the audience anticipate.
Exactly.
He'll make them wait. And I saw that with Christian Slater at the West End. When he was doing Glengarry Glen Ross, he was playing Al Pacino's role in the movie. It's originally a play, but I know mainly. I've read the play. I've seen the play a couple times, but the Al Pacino. When I refer to it, it's the Al Pacino role. That's the role everyone. I forget his name, Michael or something, but the main role that Al Pacino plays. And I've seen, I saw Slater do it. And there was a scene where he's gonna get pissed, and he's about to get pissed, and you all sense it coming, and you're thinking he's gonna go into it. My man took a 2-minute pause. He just stood there looking around. he just was reacting to the world. He was
He-
taking it in.
He took it in.
He took it in.
Yeah,
he took it in, and then he puts his hands on his hips and he just looks down. And he snaps. I was like, oh! And I was like, oh my God. That's great acting.
Yeah.
That's great acting.
He was feeling it.
He was feeling
He was
it.
feeling it.
And oh my gosh. It was so incredible. I was moved in that moment. And that's a good actor. So check that out, Django. And also, great, one of the songs, most of the soundtrack of the movie is in the Django chain, the Jamie Foxx, Quentin Tarantino version. Most of the sound, so the song Django, Louis Bacalov, great composer, did a lot of spaghetti westerns. He was kind of like the mirror to Ennio Morricone. He was like the poor man's Ennio Morricone, but he was still good. Don't get me wrong, I love Louis Bacalov. Yeah, so he did those. He did the soundtrack to that. He did a lot of good soundtracks. My Name is Trinity. My Name is Nobody. Soundtracks, really good soundtracks. So he did the sound to that. Sergio Corbucci, very violent picture, but still a very good picture. And then the shootout at the end is awesome. There's a shootout in the middle too that's really, really awesome. But the shootout at the end, look that clip up and watch Sergio Corbucci's Django 1966, the final shootout, the cemetery shootout. You think Django is done for in this part of the movie because he's surrounded. He's surrounded by these KKK members.
So it sounds like kind of like what was it in Tarantino's version? There was a very similar scene where he was in the house and he was getting shot. Is it kind of like that, or is it better? You would say?
I mean that's a good shootout.
Yeah, it was a good.
That's a good shootout. Yeah. It's a little messy, that shootout. Not like bloody messy, but like editing wise, it's a little messy.
Very choppy.
But it's somewhat. It's not that similar. I guess the only way I say it would be similar is that he's surrounded, and it's just him by himself.
Okay.
In that sense.
Okay.
But it's not the same kind of shootout.
Yeah.
But look it up. It's a really good shootout.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not like the guys are. I don't want to ruin it, but he's surrounded by KKK members.
Just look it up for yourself.
Yeah, it's a really good
you
scene.
Judge for
it's
yourself.
a really good scene.
Yeah.
And he should have been a bigger star, Franco. He was. I mean, yeah, he was Italian, but he was a great actor.
Mm-hmm.
Franco Nero. He's also in the
Django. He has a cameo.
He has a cameo in the Quentin Tarantino Django.
Mm-hmm.
And he's really good. He's a great actor. He's like the Italian Robert Redford, I think.
Mm-hmm.
The Italian Robert Redford, but it still has the badassness of like Charles Bronson.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah, he's like the Italian Robert Redford. Acting wise, Italian Robert Redford. Badass wise, like Bronson and Eastwood, the Italian version, but not the Sicilian Italian, like how these people not an Al Pacino Italian. Like he is like Robert Redford looking. He's Northern Italian. He's blonde hair, blue eyed.
Yeah.
He's how like they wore before the Moors conquered Sicily. So it's true. They were all wasps back then. They were all like blonde hair, Anglo-Saxon looking dudes. Yeah, that's the history. You know?
That's true.
I'm not trying to be any way about it. No. I'm just saying that's what it was. That's what it was. But check that movie out. And do you have one or for a retro review?
Actually, I do. I mean, it's very. I mean, people are very familiar with this one, but I think it's just an absolute delight every time I watch it. Mine is Francis Ford Coppola's The Godfather. I think. I mean, I know it's
that's the one everybody knows though.
I know it's the thing, but it's just you watch it and you understand why though. I mean, it's not like
I rewatched it on Netflix. He's right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I prefer the second one. The second one to me is better.
Oh, the second one's way
by far better.
Right.
The first one, I saw it after I came back from Europe. Mm-hmm. I don't want to take away from your review. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry.
But I'll say this little bit. I can't, and I had just come back from Sicily. Mm-hmm. So watching that movie, I was like, oh man, I missed that Sicily. like the movie does Sicily justice.
Yeah.
The first two movies do Sicily. Any movie, I think, actually, that takes place in Sicily and romanticizes it, they get it right. Mm-hmm. They get it right.
So, I mean, I won't, obviously, for those that are familiar with the masterpiece, you understand why it's great. But, I mean, for me and my take on it, especially as a writer, I mean, I so appreciate, I mean, the dialogue between these characters, how real it feels. I mean, you almost feel like you're at the dinner table with, you know, those scenes where they're talking with each other, like you actually are there with them.
Take the gun, put it to his gun, and fucking blow his head, throw the gun in the toilet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Fucking great dialogue.
It's so great. I mean, it's just, and I mean, you know, you have Marlon Brando is like giving one of his best performances ever.
I won't say his best performance.
One of his best.
I don't want to say it's his top 5 either.
Really?
Like, it's a good performance, but I won't say top 5. I would say it's somewhere along the lines of top 10.
Okay.
Because there's so many better, you know, like One-Eyed Jacks, Last Tango in Paris, Burn, which is Ennio Morricone did the score for. He was before he was the Ennio Morricone.
Okay.
So, I can go all day about Ennio Morricone. I love that man. He's my favorite composer.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like I wouldn't put. People say Godfather, but I don't even say it's top 5. I say top 10 maybe.
Well, regardless, it's an amazing performance. And, I mean, you know, I the only one who I think outshines him, no offense to Marlon Brando, is Al Pacino.
I don't think so either.
Really?
Nah.
Because I thought he
Duvall. Duvall in that movie.
Duvall's not in the movie that much, though. That's the thing.
But that's the thing with Duvall.
That's true.
He's hardly in a movie, and he kills the freaking movie.
That's true, yeah.
How to Kill a Mockingbird, True Grit. Any movie with Duvall that has, like, that tiny, tiny scene.
Yeah.
Just his eyes. The look.
Oh, yeah. The eyes.
The shadows.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Watch him in True Grit. I'm not talking... Him in Killing a Mockingbird. Okay, actually, you know what? Forget that. Watch him in How to Kill a Mockingbird. He has no lines in that movie. Not a single line in that movie. And he steals the movie from Gregory Peck.
Yeah.
He steals the movie from everyone in that movie.
He's a very underrated actor, I feel. Very underrated. But,
I'm sorry, I'm taking away from
okay.
your thing.
Don't worry about
I'm taking away from
We're
your
going to make
thing.
this the Dante Reviews podcast.
Bye, Brendan.
So,
Go ahead. Sorry, my bad.
it's all good. So you mentioned shadows, and that's another thing that I love that they played with in these movies. The shadows.
Yeah.
I mean, you just have like I'm trying to think of like a good comparison, but like I mean, the opening shot, like where he's in, you know, like he's having all these people pretty much come and seek his blessing, and just the lighting in that scene is just so gorgeous.
I was listening.
Yeah.
I was listening to the cinematographer talk on it wasn't a podcast because I think he's dead now, but it was an interview, and he was saying his reasoning for lighting the shadows, and everyone's usual theory is that even Coppola has said this, like, oh, it's the criminal underbelly, so you want to make it look dark.
Yeah,
That's Coppola trying to be smart.
pretty much.
The cinematographer is like, we got to light this shadowy so the studio doesn't come in and make it all bright. We got to underlight this
God
thing.
damn, why'd you ruin it? You ruined the effect.
I mean, and no, it still works on that level.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. But I love that reaction that, like, it wasn't because we're smart. It's because we just didn't want the studio to do what they wanted.
We wanted to do it our way, so it was the only way to do it.
That's how you play the studio system,
Yeah.
is by being punk rock about it.
Exactly. So, I mean, like the shadows, the cinematography's great.
The score is great, too.
That was another thing that I keep
You
forgetting.
know
is
what's
the
it's
score.
funny.
Yeah.
The first one was nominated but didn't win.
For best score or just...
Actually, I don't. Yeah, was it now? I don't even remember.
was
But
best-
I know
best
it.
picture.
No, I'm talking about the score for the film.
Oh, the score, okay.
I don't know if it was nominated and didn't win, or if it wasn't nominated at all. But the second movie, uses the exact same score and it won.
Really?
That doesn't make sense to me. Best original score, it won. How's it best original score if it's the same score from the last one?
It can't be the same score.
No, it's exact. They didn't change it.
They didn't change it?
I think either the composer died or they just didn't want to change it.
Might not hire a new composer? I mean, no offense to the old one, just...
I mean, would you want to hear a different score for Godfather
no.
Part 2?
Fuck no.
No.
That's true. Good point. But yeah, I mean, the music is so good, and it also, like, it sort of, I don't know, like, you were talking about, like, because you came from Sicily, and, I mean, obviously, you don't know how it is out there with the criminal underbelly, but...
Well, I mean, there's crime there,
You're right.
but it's not. It's actually the safest city in the world. One of the safest cities in the world.
Yeah.
It does have a mafia, but they're not going to whack you over the head or anything like that.
No, but what I was going to say is it's amazing how they're able to portray a lot of these people that go from being, you know, like they're not good people. I mean, you know, some of them are killers. You have people that are mobsters. But what I was saying earlier is that they write them in a way that makes them so relatable. that you understand.
Well, I mean, especially Brando's character.
Brando's character is
Because
great.
he says that to Pacino.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want this world for you. I wanted
Exactly.
you to be a senator. I wanted you to be like, something else, just not a crook.
Yeah.
I didn't want you in this world. I wanted you to do something else with your life. And I think that's so beautiful. Because, you don't want your son to do what you did.
No.
If you want your son to do better than you.
And I mean, it's so interesting because I mean, it's not Al Pacino's best performance, in my opinion. But what I love about his performance is how subtle it is because he starts off. I mean, he does have a character arc. He starts off.
Don't get me wrong. It's very subtle.
Yeah, no, I mean, he starts off as a guy who came back from the war. All he wants is to start a new life, and then all of a sudden, his family and his past just brings him back, even though he doesn't want it to.
I like that scene where he's in the restaurant.
Oh yeah.
And he's about to pull the gun.
Mm-hmm.
That's not realistic, the way he's moving his eyes.
Yeah.
But for the movie, it works.
Yeah.
It's like the way he's shifting is like oh shit, I gotta do this.
I love.
And it pulls out the gun.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God.
Or the scene where he's threatening the guy at the dinner table and they kill him. Or no, but they don't kill him at the dinner table. But the whole thing is that
the wife beater, right?
The ex-husband. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, it was the current husband.
Oh, the current husband.
His current husband.
Yeah.
Remember, she cries about it.
That's right.
She cries about it. Like, why'd you kill him? Like, what do you mean? You asked me to kill him.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm like, why you asked me to kill him?
Yeah.
But the scene where they get in the car, I'm like, oh, don't worry, we're not gonna kill you.
Yeah.
We're just gonna make you work.
Right.
We're gonna make you work. And
Yeah.
get in the car. And
Yeah.
I'm like, holy crap!
Yeah, I mean, you gotta love that. It's so well done.
It's very well done. And then the shot at the end when they close the door.
When they close it, oh my god! Like
That's a
every
great
time
shot.
I watch that shot,
I don't think any. I'm sure there has been, but I don't think anybody really perfected that shot until The Godfather.
No, it's you gotta appreciate it so much.
Because that shot is just, and the way it ends on Diane Keaton.
Her look that she gives Al Pacino is chilling. It's a look that it's really like if you've ever been in this position, you're like, what the hell did I just get myself into? That's what that look says. It's like she has no idea.
That film, that ending shot is
So great.
Anyways.
Yeah, so that's our retro reviews.
That's our retro reviews.
Yeah.
Let's move on to news.
We have a lot to talk about.
We have a lot to talk about.
Yeah. Well, actually, do you want to start?
Yeah, I was going to say this.
Okay.
This one surprised me. And
Okay.
so some of you who've been following Quentin Tarantino's film Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, like I have, I've been following it to a T. I know there's so much cake. It's big casting. It's like all around. It's great casting. And some of them have been a little weird, like Dakota Fanning and that dude, not Emile Hirsch. Because I love Emile Hirsch, but that was a little oddball because I never thought Emile Hirsch and Quentin Tarantino were the same sentence.
Yeah.
But this one, I never expected in my life. Lena Dunham just got casted in the new freaking
Really?
from HBO's Girls.
Yeah.
Now I've never seen Lena Dunham act. I've never seen her in anything. I've heard about Girls. I've seen her talk. I mainly know her because she's very political and she's a big activist.
Yeah.
But I was like, it's like, that just didn't process with me. Like, why she's in this film?
Yeah. You're like, what are you doing in this film?
And I forgot who she. No, it was. I mean, it's a great casting. They got Bruce Lee in this film. They got that Damien Lewis.
Oh, Damien Lewis.
That's Steve McQueen.
Wow.
That's like, who else would play Steve McQueen? I can't see anybody else. Now, I don't even see Steve McQueen's son or grandson playing Steve McQueen. But yeah, no. But Lena Dunham. I'm trying to remember who I saw. I'm not sure if I saw who she was playing, but I was like, but would you ever think of that in your head? Lena Dunham in a Quentin Tarantino flick?
Any person from Girls, I would not imagine.
Maybe Adam Driver.
Maybe.
I like Adam Driver.
Yeah.
He's a good people are like, they won't watch a lot of his films because he's Kylo Ren and things like that. I think he's good as Kylo Ren. He's very subtle.
Yeah,
he's a very subtle, good actor.
I just saw him in a movie. He was really good.
Which movie?
Oh, gosh.
Black Klansman?
Yes, he was so good.
I haven't seen that yet, but I really want it.
Really good.
James Morris, Luke Perry and James Morris. James Morris I can kind of see because of Westworld.
Okay.
Because he's been doing the cowboy.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
this movie is very like Western oriented, but still set in Hollywood. But Luke Perry, like, when was the last time you heard something from Luke Perry?
Can't remember.
So I'm trying to see who. It says that it's not clear yet, but it says she's playing a gypsy, who is one of Charles Manson's disciples. And I'm thinking,
Oh, that's right, because he had the whole cult that followed him.
yeah.
Right,
So
right.
I can see that happening.
Yeah, okay.
I can see that, but I'm like, I just didn't expect Lena Dunham. Have you seen her in anything?
No, I haven't, but I mean, it's funny that you didn't expect that. I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't expect Tarantino to make a Charles Manson movie. I mean, that kind of...
I kind of see it, but I didn't completely wasn't expecting it, but at the same time I wasn't surprised because I was like, I see it. I see it. It's his ballpark.
No, it fits
like
him. Yeah.
Serial killers and the 60s and Hollywood. He loves Hollywood. He loves cowboys. But I love Quentin. I trust him completely.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little sketchy about the previous castings, but this one I'm a little iffy about. But I trust him completely because he's got Pacino in there too.
That's true. You can
Speaking of Pacino,
yeah.
You got Pacino, you got DiCaprio, you got Pitt, you got a killer cast.
Yeah.
I want to beat Manson in that movie. I want to play Charles Manson. Quentin, if you're listening, which I doubt you are, cast me as Manson. My headshot and real Dante Graves. Okay, look it up.
And he'll do it for free too.
I'll do it for free. I'll do the. I won't me too you either. I'll keep my mouth shut. No, I'm sorry for the people. I've been me too. Sorry. That's not.
Okay. Anyways.
But
yeah.
I'm making a joke. That was bad. I'm sorry. Moving on.
This is gonna be our first and only podcast.
Yeah. We'll cut that out though.
So.
I trust the movie. I'm excited. I'm excited. I want to play. You could put me in a hippie. I'd be a hippie in the background. I don't care. I'll hold a boom mic. I'll be the pizza delivery guy.
He'll be the guy who passes by number 2 in the camera.
As long as I get to work with Quentin Tarantino. Okay. But so moving on. What do you got?
As far as movie-related news, I was gonna say one of the things because we were talking about Christopher Robin earlier and what's his name, Ian McGregor. Apparently, I learned that there's been a lot of hype behind this Obi-Wan movie. There is no Obi-Wan movie, guys. Like he came out recently and said that there's no production on it. Like nothing's been announced.
They've been holding back production because of the Solo thing.
Is that what it is?
They said that, and they were gonna make the Boba Fett movie.
Okay.
With James Mangold, who I think is perfect for that movie.
Sure, yeah, okay.
Perfect. But,
I mean, that's what I figured, but...
No, they said we're going to put all the solos, like, not solo, like, they were talking about, like, the one-offs, the side stories. Mm-hmm. We're going to put them on hold for a while.
Okay.
Reassess. And, I re-saw Solo recently. I didn't think it was... I actually liked it more.
Really?
I saw it a second... I was enjoying it more.
Okay.
I actually was enjoying... It's not a bad movie.
It's not
even an ant movie. It's a very fun movie. And it's not like, oh, are you serious? That's so dumb. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, they rushes through things, and there's a lot of stupid to it. But, I mean, again, if you look back on all the Star Wars movies, there's a lot of stupid to them, too.
That's true. Yeah.
Like, look at Phantom Menace. Look at Attack of the Clones. Look at Revenge of the Sith.
And I mean, for you people, I love the OG trilogy. I do. I hold it to my heart. But even those films have a lot of problems when you go back and look at it.
I still can't rewatch Return of the Jedi,
yeah.
Except for that first half.
Yeah,
the first half is great.
Mm-hmm.
That the first beginning of the movie, and then when the Ewoks come in, I'm like,
how
did the Ewoks take over the Empire? How did they take down the Empire? So yeah, no, I like the Solo movie. Everything about the movie I like.
Yeah.
Like rewatching even the underdeveloped villain. Even though I feel like the movie is like more of like the Western where there is no clear cut villain.
Right.
But I mean, there's a lot of things I wish came out of that movie. But I still enjoyed it thoroughly. Okay, you know what? I'll say what I have a problem with.
Okay.
We know
what it is, and actually,
I'm gonna say because I'm gonna say what it is because it's been long enough.
Look, I'm sorry, people. If you haven't seen the movie, you go watch the movie. All right,
it's been long enough.
Yeah, all right.
It's been long enough. Because it's a stupid, the freaking Darth Maul
Oh
cameo.
God, can we talk about that, please?
Yeah.
Can we talk about that,
talk
please?
about how pointless that was? No, talk about how pointless it was to open his light, like to turn on his lightsaber. Is somebody in the room?
It's like
Somebody in the room? Is that why you need to turn it on? Is it about to fight?
you know, it's one of those things where you're like, hey, let me show you what I can do. Like, never mind the fact that I'm this powerful Sith Lord that can
Like,
do
you already
whatever.
know who I am.
Yeah.
What's her name?
I don't remember.
She had a nice name. I liked it.
Forgot. But
Ayla? No, it was something.
was it?
It was something with Q. Quran? No, Quran.
It was something.
Amelia Clark's character.
Amelia Clark's character.
I liked her character's name. I just can't remember it.
Yeah.
I liked it better than Jyn Erso.
Jyn Erso, yeah.
I didn't like that name so much
Yeah.
because they were like very like kind of. It was hard to remember.
Yeah.
But Katara, was it?
I don't remember.
But anyways, point is
Sorry, that's from Last Airbender, dude.
no, but point is when it's like you already know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
You already know what I can do.
Right.
Let me show you what else I can do.
Yeah, let me just pull out my
what
lightsaber.
was the point of that?
And what I was gonna say is because I don't know about you, but one of the things that I don't think I brought this up with you, but I thought when I first watched that movie was because he popped up and I hated it, and I was like, okay, that's just kind of random, but
I
whatever.
thought it was very surprising,
Right.
And I was like, oh, cool. They're putting those Star Wars, Clone Wars things
Sure.
canon. But then when you're looking back in the context of the movie,
it doesn't
it's
make
like,
any sense.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, and what I was gonna say is I was honestly like hoping that with all the build up that we would get some kind of like cameo that makes sense, and I was trying to think, okay, what cameo would be kind of like refreshing to see from like an old character, and I thought, dude, Han Solo, fucking Jabba the Hutt, like it only makes sense.
That's
what I thought was gonna happen.
I thought that was good.
Yeah.
It was going to be in the movie.
Yeah.
Like Jabba, it only makes sense for Jabba. There's so many, or even not even Lando. I mean, I love Lando in the movie.
Well, that makes sense.
I love Lando in
Yeah.
the movie. You could put Lando still in the movie.
Sure.
I mean, you didn't really need to put Lando in the movie.
No.
But
Childish Gambino's always a win.
but I mean, he was a show stealer. Who I'm trying to remember who they could have put in the movie they didn't put in the movie. I want to say there's a lot of people.
There's a lot of people, but I mean,
But Greedo would have been a nice addition. Greedo would have been a nice. That's not who I'm thinking of, but
it's what it is that I mean, it's disappointing because I mean, this is supposed to be a Han Solo prequel. I mean, how does Darth Maul relate to Han Solo? I'm sorry, like
because they're trying to set up the Obi-Wan Kenobi.
which apparently now we learn isn't happening
Because
right now.
people, because those stupid alt-right whiny boys were like, no more Star Wars movies, please.
Yes.
I'm like, what's the point of
Yeah,
that? Because
exactly.
they did that to themselves. It wasn't Disney. It was those whiny alt-right boys who
You-
complained about the new Star Wars movies because there's too many females in them.
Right. That's so stupid. But I mean, yeah, the whole thing with Jabba the Hutt thing was stupid, and I mean, to me, it was also not Jabba the Hutt, Darth Maul, but I
Darth
mean,
Maul.
it was also to me, it was also just
Also, why wasn't Boba Fett in the movie?
Yeah,
You could have had Boba Fett in that movie. You could have set him up perfectly.
right.
There's so many things you could have done with that movie.
Yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong. I loved the movie still.
yeah,
But there's so much more you could have done.
right. I mean,
But again, we're doing that thing. It's like about like how Justice League. I don't
Yeah.
care about Justice League.
true,
But I guess because I had so much attachment to Han Solo,
right. I mean,
so you want the movie to be good.
exactly.
You want the movie to be good.
You don't want to walk out of a Han Solo movie, especially thinking like, what was that?
I didn't
Like,
have that feeling. I still had fun.
I
And
still had fun.
It was a western. It was. I liked. People complain about the Woody Harrelson betrayal. I didn't mind that. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
But I think it could have been executed differently.
Yeah.
I think it should have had like. It should have been like The Wild Bunch. You ever seen that movie?
No,
Oh, okay. So here's another movie recommend. I'm a very big Western cinephile.
he is.
I love Western. If you haven't seen Sam Peckinpah's 1969 The Wild Bunch, you're doing yourself an injustice. It's playing this Sunday. Is it Sunday or no? What day is today?
It's Thursday.
Yeah, no, this Sunday. Wait. Yeah, this Sunday at the Egyptian Theater on 35 millimeter. I've seen it in IMAX at the Chinese Theater, and that's a way to watch it. That was oh my god, the shootout at the end. They're walking. There's like so one of their guys got killed in the movie. I'm not gonna say who, and they're upset about it. at first they try to act like they don't care because, you know, they're men and things like that. So they're sleeping with these prostitutes, and they're like, and they were given money to just, you know, brush it off. And they're like, no, I can't take it anymore. It's just killing me. It's eating me inside. And so they just get together, and they're doing this long walk just down, like, not a hallway. It's not a road. It's in a village, what they're in. So they're in this Mexican village, and they're going down, like, I wouldn't say an alleyway. I don't know what they call it exactly, but it's a walkway. They're going down this long walkway path towards these guys that killed their guy, and they're holding all their guns, and there's like a sea of soldiers, and they're going in to kill them, and they're going in with their guns blazing, and they're gonna die. They're gonna die, and it's one of the greatest shootouts in history, in cinema history, in actual history. I don't think any movie really has topped that shootout, in my opinion. I mean, there's a lot of good Hong Kong cinemas like The Killer or Hard Boiled or Day of Tomorrow 2, I think it's called Day of Tomorrow. I'm not sure. It's not a John Woo flick, but he produced it, and it's with Chow Yun-fat. Great shootout movie. But this movie, oh my God. Sam Peckinpah directed this movie, blacked out and drunk.
Wow.
Like, he was barely awake through most of it. And they were using real bullets.
How do they work
They're using real bullets in the shootout. They're using this Gatling gun, this huge ass minigun, and they got real bullets in them. Jesus. They got real bullets just going. How do you do that blackout drunk?
That's what I was going to say.
Without killing anybody.
Exactly. Like, I mean,
they're using real bullets, bro. And like not for the part where they actually shoot somebody, but for the scene where like they're mauling down like walls and things like that. That's real bullets. This movie has the best shootout.
That's some filmmaking for your ass right there.
Yeah. The movie kicks your butt, and the movie competes with The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. It competes with Once Upon a Time in the West, The Searchers, Unforgiven, you know, The Outlaw Josie Wales, you know, High Plains Drifter. You know, it competes with those kinds of westerns. It holds its own. It is one of the greatest shootout, the greatest, you know, like, the movie is, I'm not going to be sexist here, but it's a man movie. But women can enjoy man movie too, where they can feel aggressive. Right. But it's that kind of man movie where it's kind of like a smart version of The Expendables.
I see.
It's if The Expendables was really good, made by a great director and a great writer. That's what this is. It was like The Expendables. It's like Rio Bravo except with balls. You know, I love Rio Bravo. It's one of my favorite westerns of all time. But Wild Bunch is like the Rio Bravo for men. You know, like, I love Rio Bravo, and it's for men, too, but this movie is for, like, men, kind of, like, big, tough, brawly, but with sensitivity at the same time. It has that European feel where you're, like, you can feel. It's like Tombstone. In fact, Tombstone takes the exact same walk in the movie. It does the exact same walk to the... You've seen Tombstone, right?
Yeah, I've seen Tombstone.
So remember that walk to the OK Corral? Yeah. They're going to go to do the shootout at the OK Corral? It's the exact same walk. Okay. The exact same walk, and they're walking down. And every movie's trying to replicate it. Even in Quentin Tarantino's Django, they didn't do the shootout to the walk, but there's the walk. There's the walk at the end where they're coming back home from the funeral. It's the same shot, not the same context. But that walk in that movie is so iconic. That part gets my blood boiled every time. I see that scene. Oh my gosh. I'm like,
So... Another recommendation for you, in case you're interested, just check it out. I also thought we could talk about, I brought this up with you last time I saw you, but, you know, Warner Brothers is kind of in a deep hole right now with their DC franchise. And they're trying to bring themselves back with these two movies. You may have seen the trailers already for one of them is Aquaman, the other one is Shazam.
They both look awful, in my opinion.
You know, and it's funny. That's one of the things I want to talk about because a lot of people have disagreed. You know, I mean, I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people that
there's a lot of DC fanboys.
Yeah, but I mean, even the people that didn't like the movies, like Suicide Squad, they're saying
I don't know anybody that likes the Aquaman trailer. I know people who like the Shazam trailer.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you heard the opposite?
I've heard some people like Aquaman. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just Jason Momoa. You know, it just
looks stupid. Like. the trailer. I'm not saying the movie because I haven't seen the movie yet. I can't speak about the movie, but it does look dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And the effects, the look, the feel, it doesn't look appealing.
Well, how do you? I mean, do you see them trying to like make a different tone like than what they had previously?
I don't know.
I mean,
I can't. It didn't look any. It's in fact the Shazam trailer and the Aquaman trailer were so similar
really.
that I was like I just didn't care.
I felt the opposite. I felt like they were two complete different like tones. Like it's almost like okay, obviously this is the same universe, but these are movies that are going to have like completely two different tones. So I'm not really expecting one to be like the other. I mean, you know, to each their own. But I mean, my question is that if these movies, because they're really riding on these movies right now. I mean, they need this more than ever. And if these movies, let's say, you know, I'm sorry, DC fanboys. I just want to make a full.
You don't have to talk to them.
No, I do.
We don't have to address them.
Okay,
We don't have to.
Okay,
address
well, I you know what? Whoever's listening, I just want to say I am a huge DC fanboy. I
This-
love comic books in general, but I love DC.
This man has a Man of Steel Blu-ray.
No, don't. Let's not talk about that. Let's let's.
This man has the Dark Knight trilogy on
There you
Blu-ray.
go. There you go.
I'm saying that's how much big of a fanboy
That's
you are.
true. Yeah,
You love DC.
I do love DC.
He likes
yeah.
he most of my DC knowledge comes from this guy.
Mhm.
But you gotta admit the movies are shit right now.
Oh no, the movies are
The
terrible.
Wonder Woman movie, good.
Best
Well,
one.
except the final third act.
Yeah, find out there was whatever.
But
Yeah.
the new one, the 84 one, the 1984 one,
Yeah.
that one looks good.
It looks good. And that's my only thing is that, you know, you have, because I've tried to stick by this universe as long as I can, but I mean, with each passing movie, it just seems like they just keep getting disappointing and more disappointing, and it's just like, okay, guys.
I've just lost interest at this point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like
Yeah.
after Avengers: Infinity War, I completely lost interest. I mean, I'll still watch them.
Right.
I'll still watch because I want. It's like I want them to do good.
Mm-hmm.
I want both to do good because we live in a time where we can be nerds, we can be geeks, we
Yeah.
can be, all these things. And there's a lot of toxic fan bases, and there's toxic fan base for everything. There's like
Exactly.
I remember when I was in the metal, when I was really into heavy metal. Like I remember I would go on all these fan pages. There's toxic people in there too. It's everywhere. It's not like I'm ashamed to be a nerd. Don't be ashamed to be a nerd. Just call out people when they're being toxic.
Right.
Don't let it happen.
Yeah.
But with the thing with DC is just that I've lost interest into because when Batman versus Superman was first announced, I was excited.
So was I.
I was defending. I was saying,
Yeah.
like, give it a chance. It's gonna be good. This and that. And then I saw it and I hated it.
Yeah, and I want to say, like, I don't know about you, but like, I think you told me when you heard Ben Affleck was cast Batman, you weren't feeling it. I thought it was a great choice, especially.
I wasn't feeling it at first.
Yeah.
I wasn't against it like how most people were.
right.
But I was defending him. Like, give him a chance.
Yeah.
I'm not totally for it.
Yeah.
But then I saw him get in shape and things like that. I was like, but he's the best part of those movies, really.
And as soon as that image came out with him next in the bat suit next to the what was it, like the
Batmobile.
the Batmobile,
I lost my shit.
I was like, okay.
I lost my shit. I was
I'm
like,
in.
Brendan, you were right, motherfucker. God damn, you
Yeah.
were right.
But then the movie came out,
And then I was like,
yeah,
he was still right about Batman. I mean, Ben Affleck did great,
Yeah.
but the writing for Ben Affleck's part was really bad. I don't know what This is a real small scene, and it has really no like
context.
no, not context.
Oh.
It has no real value to the whole story in general. But it's a
Okay.
small scene, and it doesn't really mean anything. But I think it was the most Bruce Wayne thing ever, like in the movie.
I
Like,
think I know what scene you're talking about.
well, it's the scene where he's breaking into
Yeah.
like Lex's place,
Mm-hmm.
and the woman's like, "What are you doing here?" Like, "Oh, I just got drunk. I like your shoes."
Yeah,
And I'm like, "That was a Bruce Wayne
that
thing.
is a very Bruce Wayne.
It was a
thing.
very Bruce Wayne
Yeah.
thing." And I was reading that he improvised that.
Really.
Yeah, so I'm like,
It's kind of like what Christian Bale did in Batman Begins. I think.
yeah, I mean, like,
yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Bruce Wayne is the hardest part, but it's not an easy part to play.
right.
It's definitely because I like the way Bale does it because he
Mm-hmm.
balances like rich, spoiled asshole versus real person. Because like, like when people like in Nolan's Batman,
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Wayne is his identity.
Yeah.
Is his secret identity, not Batman.
Not Batman.
Batman is
Is who he is.
who he is.
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne, that's the costume character he plays.
Mm-hmm.
Batman is the real person.
Yeah.
And that's what I liked about Bale's portrayal.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck, I'm not criticizing Affleck,
Mhm.
but we haven't seen enough of him to really make that assessment.
No,
Because he hasn't got a movie.
he hasn't.
That's
gotten
why
a
we
movie.
haven't got so invested into that Batman fighting Superman.
And another problem that I had with, I mean, not. To
I mean, we could go all day about.
Yeah, no, but I was gonna say like another problem that I had with his character arc so far is you look at him in Batman vs Superman, and then watch him in Justice League,
Well,
and it's like two completely different people. It's like
He's
whoa,
more.
what
He's
happens?
more similar to his Batman
Yeah.
versus Superman character in Suicide Squad than he is in Justice League.
It's so you're so right.
He's more Batman
You're so on
and
point.
Bruce Wayne in Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
How does that make sense to you?
It doesn't.
How does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it doesn't. It really doesn't.
Even that deleted scene where he's like, "Oh, you took away something. Joker took away something I loved.
Right.
I'm gonna do the same to him." That was like just like total like the Dark Knight Returns kind of shit.
Right, or the scene where he pops up on a dead shot in the
Yes.
alley. I mean, that's
And
so
he's ready.
Batman.
That was a Batman move.
And it's weird to talk about these things in like a shitty movie, but it's also like, okay, that was the closest thing we've seen to the
That's-
character,
I think,
in my opinion, from his interpretation at least of the character.
not even his interpretation, even the writing for some reason. Like, how is this more Batman
That's true.
than the Batman versus Superman?
That's true. It's like, yeah.
But anyways, we're
Yeah.
getting off topic.
But okay, so you're obviously not very excited for the movies, and there are a lot of people that
I'm
feel
not-
the same way.
I wouldn't say I'm. Yeah, no.
No.
I'll still watch them. I'll still root for them.
Mhm.
But like, there's nothing really investing me to really just go in.
Right. And
The Matt Reeves Batman movie and the Joaquin Phoenix
The Joaquin
Joker,
Phoenix,
the
yeah.
Todd Phillips Joker
Yeah.
film, I'm totally on board for that.
Yeah.
That I'm like, yes, please sign me up. I want to see this movie.
Mhm.
And if Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is in the Matt Reeves Batman movie, and Jake Gyllenhaal as Batman,
it's fucking amazing.
oh,
Yeah, dude.
here's my fucking money. Here's my fuck. I don't even have much money. I will give you all the money I have.
And at that point, stop.
I will sell my clothes.
Yeah.
I will sell my guitar.
Yeah.
I will sell like all this nice watch just to watch that movie.
and stop making Ben Affleck Batman and Jared Leto Joker. If this movie is as good as we think it's going to be,
Unpopular opinion,
Yeah.
I like Jared Leto's Joker.
okay,
Well, that's a different topic.
that's
We'll
a
go-
different topic.
Different topic.
Different topic. But anyways, I am not okay. I don't want to say I'm excited. I am very optimistic, and I'm interested. But I mean, if the movies are bad, I'm not going to be like, oh man, fuck DC. It just I'm going to be like you said, like the kid that just disappoints you as like
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm just, as a parent, I have to accept that you are not at all what I thought you were going to be. So it's good. Yeah. We'll just deal with it.
So what is your news? We never got to that.
What do you mean?
What was the thing about
With
movie news? What was your thing?
that was my thing.
That was your thing?
That was my thing.
Okay.
I went over the thing. I went over
Okay.
James Gunn, and I went over all those things. We can go.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
All right.
we'll go more, or if you
Or
want.
do I have anything else? Let me see. Other than they have a Death Note sequel coming out,
Really?
and I'm
Okay.
like, why?
why indeed?
Like that first one was horrible.
Yeah.
Like, and I defended that. I was like, give it a chance. It's usually shit. I say, give it a chance. It's like, okay, that was horrible. I'm
Yeah,
ready.
yeah.
But it's because it's like because people were attacking because of whitewashing. It's not a whitewashing. It's a readaptation. It's like The Departed or like A Fistful of Dollars.
Yeah.
It's just a readaptation for a different audience.
Mhm.
You can't give a Japanese version of the movie in America. It wouldn't make sense because not a lot of people would get it because cultural differences. But then I saw the movie and I was like, this is awful.
Yeah.
This is awful. But yeah, and then they're making a sequel, and I'm like, why are they making a sequel?
Because money,
But I mean, I don't think it did that. I mean, it's a Netflix
That's
movie,
true,
so
that's true.
it didn't do that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it did awful because I don't know. Maybe it did well. I gotta look it up, but I don't know. So
That's true. At least it's better than making a sequel to Ghost in the Shell. That's just
I'd rather watch that than the Death Note one.
yeah. All right.
But I mean, you really can't really do a sequel to that movie.
That's true. So, anyways, so I think this is where we're gonna call it, people,
Yeah.
tonight.
Thank you for
Yeah.
listening to The Graveyard in the pub. Blah, 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 blah. I screwed up. Just apologize, ladies and gentlemen, but thank you for listening to the Polar Opposite Podcast. the Graveyard Film Reviews.
Mm-hmm.
And I promise next time will be shorter. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.
Thank you.